Okay. Whoa. All right. Now, let me see if I can just get. No, not that. Hey, what's up? It's Matt, Crypto Harlem live stream. Coming at you. It's January 4th, the fourth day of this new year. 361 days in front of us. And I thought it'd be cool to talk about like what to do um when you're starting with new computer stuff, like new phone or new hardware, you get a gift, or what you could do if you're like, this is the year that I actually decided to take my privacy more seriously and like things that you can do. So I thought I would start off with that today, but I'm also want to play with my settings and see if I can get, let's see, where is that? See if I can get this green screen to pop up. I think I can do it. Let's see. It's not this. It's not this. It's not this. It's not here. It's not here. I can do this. We can do this together. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, look at that. Its menu has been moved to another location. I found it. Okay, let's see what happens. Whoa. Help me. Hold on, let's try this. Oh, so much better. That was wild. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, welcome to Fake Harlem. And yeah, I thought that we would do that today. Thanks for checking out the live stream. I know like last week I was like, I'm out, I'm not doing the stream no more. But here I am again, and I thought I'd just say a few words. It's going to be a lot of change this year, and I'm probably, like going to make some big announcements about Crypto Harlem and big announcements about the live stream. So look out for that. Um, we've had all kinds of things happening in the world that I probably want to talk about. Um, let's see. There was this one audio like listening case that Apple decided to settle, which I think is like of interest. Um, and it's this case where these people were talking. This woman and her daughter were talking about Air Jordans, as one does, and they're talking about Air Jordans, and then they got some like Nike ads or Air Jordan ads, and they were like, Siri's a snitch, Siri's listening to me. And then they started this class action lawsuit against Apple. And before, yeah, and so let me pull up this article. Let me pull up an article on this from so I can like break it down with you. And they actually ended up winning the class action lawsuit. So their lawyers get a big chunk, they get a big chunk. And anyone who used an Apple iPhone between I think 2014 and 2020 gets $20, which is a lot of people, right? Um, and the whole thing is like, are iPhones really private, and were they really listening to people and getting recordings to advertisers, or is that not a thing? And it started that whole debate over again early this year. So I thought it'd be cool to talk about it. Um, let's see if I can find. Okay, I'll pull a Verge article. I love the Verge. Who doesn't love the Verge? You know what I'm saying? So let's get this popping. Oh, let's also get some music. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some music up on here. It's so quiet that always bothers me a little bit. Um, who would like to pick what we're listening to? Yeah, put on like your fake favorite artist, which I always love to do. Um, so I know you're out there, DLXer, J-Thing Pepser, you know what I'm saying? Crypto Harlem Squad. Uh, if there's a genre and you're near your keyboard, you want to put it in, go ahead. I'll make sure that we put that on while I put on this quick article from The Verge. Mhm. Okay, be right back. BRB. Wait, hold on. Do you see this? Do you see this? Do you see this article? No? Yo, you like the crispiness, right? Sexy tunes. Um, okay. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, here we go. Here's the article. And let me see. What happens when I put in sexy? Let's, this is, how is this sexy music? It sounds like, oh, this sounds more sexy to me. It's kind of jazzy. This is like, boom, 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 on a hot summer, you know, like detective novel, pulp, 1950s kind of vibes. Let's get it going. Background music. Uh, okay, here's with some kind of words. Let's see how this goes. It's the fourth day, new January. Take off the winter clothes, take off your shoes. Come here to the Harlem Fireplace. Yeah, we got a hot beverage for you. Mm. Okay, cool. So check it out. This article says that Apple will pay $95 million, which, you know, that's a lot of millions right there. And let's dive into it. You could get up to $20 for every device you bought and accidentally activated Siri. So Apple has agreed So a $95 million settlement with users whose conversations were inadvertently captured by Siri voice assistant and potentially overheard by human employees. The proposed settlement, reported by Bloomberg, could pay many US-based Apple product owners up to $20 per device for up to 5 devices. So that's $100 if you have 5 iPhones. There's a year limit on it, so it has to be between 2014 and 2024. It's a 10-year window. So if you have 5 iPhones, you get $100 from Apple. But basically the Apple gift card you get when you go shopping and buy an Apple product. If approved, the settlement would apply to a subset of US-based people who owned a Siri-enabled iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, MacBook, iMac, HomePod, or iPod Touch, or Apple TV between September 17th, for some reason not September 16th, and December 31st, which was last day of 2024. I wonder why not September 16th? A user would also need to meet one other major criteria. They must swear under oath that they accidentally activated Siri during a conversation intended to be confidential or private. How does that work? You have the phone, you have the receipt, you have to go to court and swear under oath? Or can you sign that I swear? Individual payouts will depend on how many people claim the money. So if you apply, you could end up receiving less than $20 maximum payout. You could get $1 if there's enough people who try to do this. The initial class action lawsuit against Apple followed a 2019 report by The Guardian, which alleged that Apple's third-party contractors regularly hear confidential medical information, drug deals, and reports a couple seconds. And I remember that report. And in that report, it said that the Siri quality control team had access to turn on Siri as a listening product, and in that report, there was like people who were talking about like overhearing domestic abuse, trying to they didn't know what to do because they just like working in this call center in Romania. I don't know what to do. They try to reach authorities, like I think this person needs help, and it was and there was some other. Actually, I think there's a whistleblower. Let me pull this up. If you go to the this music is so sexy. You go to the story section of Tech Worker Handbook. Okay, here we go. So this is about, I worked on this project, the Tech Worker Handbook, and it's really good for anyone. The security section stands up today, even though we published it a while ago. It's not just for tech workers. I would say anyone who has a job with a trade time for money should read the Tech Worker Handbook security section. But in the stories section, there's Thomas de Bonnet. And Thomas, what he said was in May 2019, I was hired by Apple to check the transcript of user recordings via their voice assistant Siri. I heard people talking about their cancer, referring to dead relatives, religion, pornography, politics, relationships, and drugs. Who had no intention to activate Siri whatsoever. This is my story of blowing the whistle on Apple's mass surveillance operation. And it takes a lot of guts. You know, Thomas had this job, and you could read this whole story. It talks about how I never wanted a job in tech. I completed my master's in sociology from Paris Sorbonne University in 2018. I was looking for a job and spent 8 months unemployed, couldn't find a job, and then ended up applying for a role that they saw as a data analyst at Apple through a subcontract called Globetech. And if you end up at a job at Globetech, they're like, you actually work for Apple, and we're going to send you to do work from this company that's based out of Apple's office in Cork, Ireland. And he said I had a good salary, and here's the information here. You know, and it's like, bonjour, monsieur, Thomas de Bonnet. That's my very bad French accent, you know. And he talks about like how he first got the job, and he just signed an NDA, and like many people who have these kind of jobs, they don't tell you about it from the first day. And he talks about how an average day would start at 7:45 in the morning. He'd clock in and then log into a VPN, and he'd check on his assignments. And the human team was essentially beneath the algorithms, and they would just kind of feed the algorithm. Um, you know, he was in Ireland working in court. He didn't have enough money to go back home. It was a pretty oppressive workplace. And then he heard this recording, uh, someone talking about, abuse against children. And he flagged it with his manager. And he was like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, we got to do something, right? Um, and he also was having like a lot of feelings of like angst and disgust and anxiety and PTSD that were coming from his job. And it's a really powerful recording. I don't want to not recording. It's a powerful story. And he talked about how he had the ability to take screenshots of what was going on, and the security was pretty lax at the company, the contract with Globe Tech. And he pulled a lot of information, and then he quit the job, and he decided he needed to do something. And so he actually went with a bunch of other contractors and were part of that story in the Guardian that led to this case. And he sent out emails to the Guardian and investigative reporters. He was trying to be careful about revealing his identity. There was a documentary that was being made. They wanted to interview him on camera. He talks about that path and what it's like when you're dealing with the media. And then talks about how things are for him now and the team that he worked with and facts. And so I feel like this would be great to update this article. The technical ramp was published by the team that put together. I worked with whistleblower, activist, organizer, Hero to the People, HNY, as a contributor to the technical ramp. And yeah, I think it's really great to revisit Thomas's story. And boom, here these people worked on it. Took the Harlem, that intro. You know what I'm saying? Give myself an ear horn. So it's nice to see this stuff come full circle, But I will say this, there's a difference between the people in the trust and safety team and the security team getting access and pulling recordings, and the idea that your phone is constantly recording you, and then your phone is sending your information to, a advertising server or to a phone company. Let's go back to the first cycle. And props to Tomas, and props to the team that helped him, and no props, negative props to Globe Tech and the way they treated the people who were outsourced. And don't even get me started into what it's like working for a tech company in Ireland, because Ireland is where a lot of companies go to hide their operations and seek tax shelter. So every major tech company has if not an office in Ireland that they can claim, they have some third party that they can work as, hide under that umbrella. Anyway, when the story came out about the Siri recordings that were sent out, Apple offered a formal apology and said it would no longer retain audio recordings, right? So, and there's a whole nother story on that if you want to follow that came out later. After the Guardian story came out, Apple said in August 2019, in the summer, would no longer keep serial recordings by default. It used to be by default. They would just record these things. And it worked out better for them because they made it harder for people to catch them in doing this thing. But the plaintiffs in this Apple lawsuit, one of whom was a minor, claimed that Apple iPhones have reported them on multiple occasions using Siri, sometimes after they had in order to wait for it, which we know is not this. In fact, I shouldn't even say the word eerie, because if I say the S eerie word, I could actually trigger your phone to listen to me. So I'm not going to say the S eerie. You don't know what the name assistant is. Apple wasn't the only company accused of letting people hear confidential recordings. Google and Amazon also use contractors that listen in for trust and safety, quality assurance, all these other things. That's a known thing, you know. And this is the motion for a proposed Apple Siri settlement. And here's the Apple proposed settlement from January 2nd. You take a look at that. It's in Document Cloud, and I'm happy to share all these links here so you can have this fun. This is the document of the Apple settlement. The motion for proposed Apple settlement looks like this. Okay. United States District Court for Northern District of California, Oakland Division. And this is the proposed Apple settlement agreement, which is the maximum payment of $20. Not to be higher than $20 per device and only up to 5 devices within a 10-year span of December 31st, 2014 and September 17th, 2014. Okay. So let me send that to you. Document Cloud. There's some other reporting that talks about like it's a mother and a child, you know, and they were talking about Air Jordans and how the Air Jordan ads, like they were like, wait a second, is this thing listening to us? You know, here is the original Guardian article that came from the work of a bunch of different whistleblowers, including Tomas, who unveiled himself. So we can talk about him. And this is the apology for Apple. Apple apology, August 2019. Okay, so there's a Reuters version of the story by Jonathan Stemple. Thanks, Jonathan. And he talks about how mobile device owners complain that Apple routinely record their product applications after they accidentally or unintentionally activated Siri, right? And I think what Apple will do here is they'll work to make sure that the wait words are followed by some kind of prompt and that Siri can't get accidentally activated. They still will do recordings for trust and safety and quality reasons. That's something that they'll always do. They just won't record those like they used to. There's also like technology that involves like silent wake words, where the wake word, the phone can hear it, but you can't hear it. It's like, hey, Mary, you know, and then it just triggers. And I think like that's something that these companies will just get better at. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you know. Now there's a similar lawsuit that's held by against Google. It's in San Jose, California federal court. It's in the same district as the Oakland court, so because of this precedent, you can expect that's probably going to lead to a similar case. You know, the plaintiffs and the lawyer are seeking up to $28.5 million in fees, plus $1.1 million in expenses, because it's expensive to take to have a case like this. I mean, in reality, normally when you have a case like this against a giant tech company, the law firm doesn't charge you the fees, and they swallow those. You know, a lawyer can get like $1,000 an hour. They swallow those fees because especially if the case seems like they can lead to a settlement, and it doesn't normally go to trial because there's danger of revealing how Siri works, how wake words work, like intellectual property, things like that. So you already have a case. You already so you just ring up the bill, free for quote unquote legal work, and then you can seek the payment $28.5 million in fees. and 1.1 million in expenses that, if you're a major law firm or even a minor law firm, could eat that, especially over time. As this case stems from a long time ago. It's around the 2019 revelation time, so it was 4 years ago. And this would be a cool time to talk about what you could do, what you could do today. Okay. Well, let's see if there's any thoughts, questions, feelings. You know, always know that, like, oh, actually, let me go to this thing about like your phone listening to you, like PBS, secrets in your data. Okay, I don't want this one. This is too big of these. This secrets in your data. Yes, my phone listening to you.
know people say, oh, your phones aren't listening to you, but we were just talking about retro video games. And here is an ad for home mini arcade machines, which looks kind of cool, but how did it know we were just talking about that? Is my phone listening? Is it a psychic? What's happening?
People always say, I was talking about this product, and then I saw an ad for it. Matt, are they listening through my phone? And I'm like, well, they didn't hear you. They didn't listen to anything. The truth is actually more frightening. You talked about that thing because they influenced you into having this conversation. It's because the algorithm took you to this place. And that's the situation with our data.
There have been some outlier examples of ad tech companies listening without consent, but that's against the law. For the most part, advertising algorithms know you so well that they can predict what you would find interesting. They're so good because they've studied all the data gathered about you from the data brokers.
There's this kind of dossier that's being created about you as you're wandering around the internet, and it's being used to, decide what ads you see.
Advertising fuels the economics of the internet, and advertising is fueled by you, me, us, our personal data. So how do the algorithms actually work?
You land on a web page, and that web page gets your IP address. A unique identifier is returned to a data broker. That data broker looks up all the facts that were ever gleaned about you, the dossier that describes you.
And then
Data. Okay. Whoa, wait a second. Wait a second. Did I just disappear? Oh no, we have a problem. Oh no, Houston. Look, what's happened to my hands? I can't feel my fingers. Oh no, did you guys lose? Were you not watching that with me? Was I just on my own? You know what I'm saying? That's the saddest thing ever. What happened there? Oh man. Okay, hold on. Let me just try this one more. Okay, let's do. I did this. No, I did this. Secrets in my data. Boom. Secrets in your data, PBS. Phone listening. Okay. And then I did this, and then I did this.
I know people.
Okay. And then I turned on captions.
People say, oh, your phones aren't listening to you, but we were just talking about retro video games, and here is an ad for home mini arcade machines, which looks kind of cool, but how did it know we were just
How did
talking
it know?
about that?
This was
Is
only
my phone
someone
listening?
helping
Is it a
us.
psychic? What's happening?
People always say, I was talking about this product, and then I saw an ad for it. Matt, are they listening through my phone? And I'm like, well, they didn't hear you. They didn't listen to anything. The truth is actually more frightening. You talked about that thing because they influenced you into having this conversation.
Oh,
It's because the algorithm took you to this place.
Maybe
And that's the situation with our
yes,
data.
serious anti-Cory Doctorow.
There have been some outlier examples of ad tech companies.
Boom, 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 boom. Cashmere was talking. And then Corey started talking about this high stakes bidding, you know what I'm saying? So maybe, and Corey's like, and then if they win a bid, and then they get to show you the ad.
Data brokers sort and cull personal data into super detailed consumer groups.
Thanks, Nancy Burgos.
This is the process that delivers relevant, personalized ads for cute shoes or that new tea club, if you're into that sort of thing, which all the ads seem to know about you.
Here we have, for example, Soccer Mom.
Okay, I might be able to identify with that. A sporting good retailer could then go and check out a file on what a soccer mom's online activity is like.
What are the things that they tend to spend money on? Do they like to save? Are there certain times of year where they might spend more or less?
With all this data about soccer moms' consumer habits, retailers can send personalized ads with uncanny timing. Some people like the results. Soccer moms get deals. Advertisers keep websites we love in business. But some consumer categories can be more concerning.
Sometimes they'll have categories that are like, this person has erectile dysfunction, this person has a gambling problem. This is a list of kind of people that are likely to fall for frauds. So these can be really powerful and damaging lists.
So this one, for example, diabetes.
Oh, okay, healthcare demographic.
The thing about that, right, is like, when you're thinking particularly about health data, that indicates that you're probably in a pretty sensitive situation.
I'm now thinking about all the patients I take care of, and I shudder to think at the targeted ads that are deliberately targeting these individuals.
Data brokers have lists about sexual assault victims. They have lists about dementia sufferers. Those are some really concerning types of categories, and you could definitely see how an advertising company could take advantage of people on those lists.
Boom. Don't take advantage of people on that list. Don't
Does
do
your
it.
phone
No,
listen
no,
to
no.
your conversation?
Wow.
Everyone has
Oh my goodness. Man, that algorithm, man. One video after the next. Okay. So yeah. It's getting too hot, man. Is your phone listening to the words out of your mouth? Oh, yeah. So what do we do? Well, there's a couple things, okay? One is like we can hold tech companies accountable. So, if you happen to have an Apple receipt and you don't mind going and testifying that you swear that you accidentally turned on Siri, you can get your $20 per device. And that adds up, that it just adds up. And other companies, Amazon, Google, etc., will get caught in that, they'll behave. But that's just about wake words and prompts and voice assistants. That's all that's about. And it's not the trend of tracking users, creating scammer profiles, and influencing user conversation thoughts and discussions. It's a crypto Harlem nightclub. Exactly. But yeah, so what I would recommend is a couple things. Yeah, if you want to testify, you want to be on court, put your hand on something and be like, I swear. Don't ask me questions about their bodies, though. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me questions about their bodies. But if you want to just put yourself in that vulnerable situation and get your $20 per device, do it. If you want to keep an eye on the news, on the other cases that come from this case, especially in that same jurisdiction, of Oakland, do it, okay? You can turn off the assistant, the voice assistant. Whenever there's a product, like for example, Apple Artificial Intelligence or whatever, you need to make sure the product's actually working in the wild. And Apple has this thing where there's like a data sharing and policy where you're like, I allow for quality purposes Apple to, share. And I think they have an icon, it's like 2 humans shaking hands or something like that. You might want to opt out of that. So I would say it's like opt out of Apple data sharing. And sometimes it's tricky. There was a recent article. Apple has this thing where they're like, the power is in your hands. The power of Grayskull privacy. So, and if you go to Apple privacy, they're like, it's on you. Privacy is your right, but it's on you to tell us how you want it to be private or not private. And so when you go to this website, they just basically talk about learn about privacy settings and controls, and they have the Apple hand on your phone. They have the safety check, sensitive content warning, privacy, blah, 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 competition. Oh, here it is, data and privacy with this person shaking hands with another person here. So data and privacy information screening to make it easy to understand how Apple will use your data. And there is a setting where here, iPhone and watch analytics for improvements. Right here under analytics and improvements. So you would go to your iPhone or Apple products or Apple Home, whatever. You would go to analytics and there's share with app developers, share with iCloud, share with whatever. Improve hand washing, improve fitness, improve. You know what? It's cool. They don't need you. They got a lot of other people who are giving information to improve their products. The way that they improve a product is by getting the data, analyzing the data, and jumping into that process with a team of hardworking, overworked, underpaid contractors to qualify your data. And that includes being able to put in on your stuff. Turn that on. You could be using the most encrypted service in the world, and your phone could be locked down and VPN out and signal everything. But you still have your analytics on, you still have your improvements on, you still have your tracking on. Turn it all on. Yeah, you can do it. It'll feel free. It'll feel liberating. Be different. You know what I'm saying? That's what Apple's all about, right? Another thing that you can do is you can, keep your device in a case, keep your device in a Faraday bag. We talked about that. Um, $9 Faraday bag and $900 Faraday bag is still a Faraday bag. They basically work the same way. They're a thing that you can put your phone in and close it up, and then you don't hear anything. I'm going to make an edit of this clip, and it's going to include me walking through the streets of Harlem testing Faraday bags with the one of us, Jason. You get the idea. All right, well, listen, it's been awesome. This has been the first stream of the year. So good to see you out there. Can't end the stream, especially with all the sexy music, without a roll call. So, to the moderators, withdraw a thing. To the moderators, do a listen. And air horns. The amazing human beings in the VIP, Jathan Pencer. Thanks for rocking with us, appreciate you. And for typing, and for the feedback, and just being there. And to the viewers out there, like Desert Burritos. Desert Burritos, thank you so much. We're going to be probably planning our physical in-world event for this quarter. So look out for that. Look out for some new announcements and things going on. Major changes at aka Cryptography Harlem. So look out for that. Yeah. I had a great conversation with folks. Ambassadors for our sponsor, Namanon, and designers over there. So look forward to some cool new drops of new gear and new cool stuff from that as well. Know that Crypto Harlem is brought to you by our sponsors, Namanon, Fashion, influenced by hacker culture, and so here we go. So, what's cool? Fashion is a virus about our movement. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Winter sale, 20% off, all that good stuff. And there's a coupon code that will give you an additional % off. And maybe I should pull that up. That's what I should probably do. I don't remember what the coupon code is, so I'm just gonna make a new one, and I'll put it on the screen, and it'll work, I promise, in 20 minutes of this. If you're watching this stream as a rerun, as archive, definitely check out the brand Nananon. Let me try to get this text box. It's there on the banner, and the discount code will be Siri is a snitch. How do let's hide this. Go to the chat. So, Siri is a snitch. Go to the website that is notanon.xyz. And enjoy your additional discount. Get some cool threads, you know what I'm saying? Now look out for a new collection that's going to be dropping in probably. I don't want to say it. I want to keep the secret, but very soon. Okay. All right, peace. Encrypt, encrypt, encrypt. Stay safe out there. Thanks for joining. This has been the News and Crypto on the Live stream. Let's go.